Boi. Come. Bashalan. In the peace. Atele. Putting crown on. Byler. Her husband. Boi Kailar. Come bride. This is a beautiful Hebrew wedding song, as if the angels in heaven are calling for the bride who has been waiting for 6,000 years to stand up bravely and put on the crown of glory for the coming King of Heaven.
Hello everyone, welcome to Enoch Talk Show. Today we continue the story of Jacob, part 15. Joseph shook the four corners in the kingdom. Jacob broke through his life barrier to let Benjamin go. Serach's sweet song was melodious. Jacob waked up and reunited with Joseph. In the last few parts we talked about the two nations are in the belly of Rebekah. We also went into detail about the meaning of the names Jacob and Esau. Jacob deceived the birthright with red bean soup. Jacob cheated the blessing. These two cheats are double quotation marks, referring to the eyes of people on earth. We talked about Jacob's double marriage and sister's jealousy. Jacob's scheme and Laban's 10 times altered Jacob's wages. Rachel nearly died from the idol. Laban chased after Jacob's family to kill them. Esau was so angry to come to kill Jacob, and the angel stopped this mighty tiger. Shechem raped his beloved, and was destroyed by his own evil. Jacob's roar shook the kings, 100 against hundreds of thousands. Joseph was lost. Jacob was in tears and turned to stone in despair. Okay, let's talk about it below. Joseph shook the four corners in the kingdom. Jacob waked up and reunited with Joseph. We'll go into the details in the Joseph story, but here's a brief overview. Joseph was king for 7 years, and he harvested the grain of the good years. The next 7 years were famine. In the second year, 10 of Jacob's brothers went to Egypt to buy grain. Joseph had been waiting there, knowing that the brothers would come. After arriving, Joseph first asked them about their situation, and then suddenly accused them of being spies and wanted to put them in jail. If he had done so, Jacob's whole family would have starved to death. In the end, Joseph just held only Simeon as a hostage, and asked the other 9 brothers to go back and bring the youngest Benjamin here. Below is the scripture description of Jacob's reaction to bringing Benjamin. Then they went to Jacob their father in the land of Canaan and told him all that had happened to them, saying, "The man who is lord of the land spoke roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. But we said to him, 'We are honest men, we are not spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of our father, one is no more, and the youngest is with our father this day in the land of Canaan.' Then the man, the lord of the country, said to us, 'By this I will know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me, take food for the famine of your households, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother to me, so I shall know that you are not spies, but that you are honest men. I will grant your brother to you, and you may trade in the land.' Then it happened as they emptied their sacks, that surprisingly each man's bundle of money was in his sack, and when they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said to them, 'You have bereaved me. Joseph is no more, Simeon is no more, and you want to take Benjamin. All these things are against me.' Then Reuben spoke to his father, saying, 'Kill my 2 sons if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my hands, and I will bring him back to you.' But he said, 'My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If any calamity should befall him along the way in which you go, then you would bring down my gray hair with sorrow to the grave. Genesis 42 verses 29 to 38 NKJV. Now the famine was severe in the land. And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the grain which they had brought from Egypt, that their father said to them, Go back, buy us a little food. But Judah spoke to him, saying, The man solemnly warned us, saying, You shall not see my face unless your brother is with you. If you send our brother with us, we will go down and buy you food. But if you will not send him, we will not go down, for the man said to us, You shall not see my face unless your brother is with you. And Israel said, Why did you deal so wrongfully with me as to tell the man whether you had still another brother? But they said, The man asked us pointedly about ourselves and our family, saying, Is your father still alive? Have you another brother? And we told him according to these words. Could we possibly have known that he would say, Bring your brother down? Then Judah said to Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and you and also our little ones. I myself will be surety for him, from my hand you shall require him. If I do not bring him back to you and set him before you, then let me bear the blame forever. For if we had not lingered, surely by now we would have returned this second time. And their father Israel said to them, If it must be so, then do this, take some of the best fruits of the land in your vessels and carry down a present for the man, a little balm and a little honey, spices, and myrrh, pistachio nuts and almonds. Take double money in your hand, and take back in your hand the money that was returned in the mouth of your sacks, perhaps it was an oversight. Take your brother also, and arise, go back to the man. And may God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may release your other brother and Benjamin. If I am bereaved, I am bereaved. Genesis 43 verses 1 to 14 NKJV. Although the last sentence was reluctant, Jacob finally stepped across over his barrier. We can say that Abraham passed the test of sacrificing Isaac like a storm. He was told a few weeks in advance, then the 3-day journey, the moment of time for sacrificing, and the great reversal suddenly appeared instantly, but Sarah did not survive and died in the process. For Jacob, the test was a very slow simmer, and it was 22 years in the first place, and now the fire was added, Joseph was gone, Simeon's life and death were unknown, and Benjamin had to take risks, and in the end old Jacob was really overwhelmed, and he decided to put Benjamin in God's hand. So the test on Jacob had the same intensity as Abraham's. Next, we will skip over Joseph and the 11 brothers, and meet again. Joseph planned a plan to see if the brothers would sell Benjamin. His battle of wits and courage with Judas was really wonderful. Save these for the Joseph story. After Joseph recognized his brothers, he went to take Jacob's family to Egypt to Joseph's retirement. Fearing that Sarah's tragedy would happen again, Joseph warned everyone what to do. Here only the book of Jasher records the details. Chapter 54. 80 And Joseph rose up and gave unto them 11 chariots from Pharaoh, and Joseph gave unto them his chariot, upon which he rode on the day of his being crowned in Egypt, to fetch his father to Egypt. And Joseph sent to all his brothers' children, garments according to their numbers, and 100 pieces of silver to each of them, and he also sent garments to the wives of his brethren from the garments of the king's wives, and he sent them 81. And he gave unto each of his brethren 10 men to go with them to the land of Canaan to serve them, to serve their children and all belonging to them in coming to Egypt. 82 And Joseph sent by the hand of his brother Benjamin 10 suits of garments for his 10 sons, a portion above the rest of the children of the sons of Jacob. 83 And he sent to each 50 pieces of silver, and 10 chariots on the account of Pharaoh, and he sent to his father 10 asses laden with all the luxuries of Egypt, and 10 she-asses laden with corn and bread and nourishment for his father, and to all that were with him as provisions for the road. 84 And he sent to his sister Dinah garments of silver and gold, and frankincense, and myrrh, and aloes and women's ornaments in great plenty, and he sent the same from the wives of Pharaoh to the wives of Benjamin. 85 And he gave unto all his brethren, also to their wives, all sorts of onyx stones and bdellium, and from all the valuable things amongst the great people of Egypt, nothing of all the costly things was left, but what Joseph sent of to his father's household. 86 And he sent his brethren away, and they went, and he sent his brother Benjamin with them. 87 And Joseph went out with them to accompany them on the road unto the borders of Egypt, and he commanded them concerning his father and his household, to come to Egypt. 88 And he said unto them, Do not quarrel on the road, for this thing was from the Lord, to keep a great people from starvation, for there will be yet 5 years of famine in the land. 89 And he commanded them, saying, When you come unto the land of Canaan, do not come suddenly before my father in this affair, but act in your wisdom. 90 And Joseph ceased to command them, and he turned and went back to Egypt. And the sons of Jacob went to the land of Canaan with joy and cheerfulness to their father Jacob. 91 And they came unto the borders of the land, and they said to each other, What shall we do in this matter before our father? For if we come suddenly to him and tell him the matter, he will be greatly alarmed at our words and will not believe us. 92 And they went along until they came nigh unto their houses, and they found Serach, the daughter of Asher, going forth to meet them, and the damsel was very good and subtle, and knew how to play upon the harp. 93 And they called unto her, and she came before them, and she kissed them, and they took her and gave unto her a harp, saying, Go now before our father, and sit before him, and strike upon the harp, and speak these words. 94 And they commanded her to go to their house, and she took the harp and hastened before them, and she came and sat near Jacob. 95 And she played well and sang, and uttered in the sweetness of her words, Joseph my uncle is living, and he ruleth throughout the land of Egypt, and is not dead. 96 And she continued to repeat and utter these words, and Jacob heard her words, and they were agreeable to him. 97 He listened whilst she repeated them twice and thrice, and joy entered the heart of Jacob at the sweetness of her words, and the Spirit of God was upon him, and he knew all her words to be true. 98 And Jacob blessed Serach when she spoke these words before him, and he said unto her, My daughter, may death never prevail over thee, for thou hast revived my spirit, only speak yet before me as thou hast spoken, for thou hast gladdened me with all thy words. 99 And she continued to sing these words, and Jacob listened, and it pleased him, and he rejoiced, and the Spirit of God was upon him. 100 Whilst he was yet speaking with her, behold his sons came to him with horses and chariots and royal garments and servants running before them. 101 And Jacob rose up to meet them, and saw his sons dressed in royal garments, and he saw all the treasures that Joseph had sent to them. 102 And they said unto him, Be informed that our brother Joseph is living, and it is he who ruleth throughout the land of Egypt, and it is he who spoke unto us as we told thee. 103 And Jacob heard all the words of his sons, and his heart palpitated at their words, for he could not believe them until he saw all that Joseph had given them and what he had sent him, and all the signs which Joseph had spoken unto them. 104 And they opened out before him, and showed him all that Joseph had sent. They gave unto each what Joseph had sent him, and he knew that they had spoken the truth. and he rejoiced exceedingly on account of his son. 105 And Jacob said, It is enough for me that my son Joseph is still living, I will go and see him before I die. 106 And his sons told him all that had befallen them, and Jacob said, I will go down to Egypt to see my son and his offspring. 107 And Jacob rose up and put on the garments which Joseph had sent him, and after he had washed, and shaved his hair, he put upon his head the turban which Joseph had sent him. 108 And all the people of Jacob's house and their wives put on the garments which Joseph had sent to them, and they greatly rejoiced at Joseph that he was still living and that he was ruling in Egypt. 109 And all the inhabitants of Canaan heard of this thing, and they came and rejoiced much with Jacob that he was still living. 110 And Jacob made a feast for them for 3 days, and all the kings of Canaan and nobles of the land ate and drank and rejoiced in the house of Jacob.
这女孩希拉是谁？12亚舍娶了以实玛利的儿子，哈大的儿子亚弗拉的女儿亚东为妻，带他到迦南地去。13那时亚舍的妻子亚东死了，没有儿子。亚东死后，亚舍来到河的另一边，娶了闪的子孙希伯的儿子亚比米勒的女儿哈杜拉为妻。14那女子容貌俊美，是有见识的女人，是闪的子孙以兰的儿子玛基列的妻子。15哈杜拉给玛基列生了一个女儿，给她起名叫希拉。玛基列死了以后，哈杜拉就去住在他父亲家里。16亚舍的妻死后，他去娶了哈杜拉为妻，带她到迦南的去，将他的女儿希拉也带来。她3岁了，那女子是在雅各家长大的。17那女子容貌俊美，她照雅各家的规矩行，她一无所缺，耶和华赐给她智慧和聪明。所以希拉不是雅各肉体出的，而是亚舍的第2任妻子。哈杜拉前段婚姻留下的女儿是闪的后裔。那么上帝按照雅各的祝福，怎么安排希拉的呢？我们在新成语故事希拉过年里有详细诠释，我们现在简单概要一下。希拉的希伯来文是 Serach， 撒拉的原名撒来是 Sarai， 后上帝改名字叫撒拉 Serach， 把代表子宫的 He 赐给了撒来，最终她就怀孕生了孝。撒拉与希拉只差一个字母，希拉的是完全的双腿健全的 Chet， 而撒拉却是断腿的 He， 所以这希拉是指向最终完全的亚当家的们。如果说耶稣是万物标准，雅各是会用标准把自己送进天堂的人，包括以色列与亚当家的，那么路德与希拉就是上帝为亚当家准备的2个典型，2个证人。So 指影子，侧面。当年上帝把亚当的侧骨呲拉拿出来，做了夏娃。最终诗篇150章第5节，大响的钹 Let Saul 赞美主。新成语故事13大响钹声里有细节，代表按照上帝的指示 Lamed 去征战 Sadi， 而最终完全是结局，也就是代官 Shin 的人 Rash。 这2个字读音非常接近，希拉、兹拉。进一步说，以色列 Israel 就是上帝 El 的王子萨尔，也是上帝的指的亚沙尔意思。所以希拉就是最终的 Tso 们，正是因为以色列的祝福，他们最终进了应许之地，成为以色列家的禾捆，被带回天堂。以色列拉比按照雅各祝福诠释，希拉直接被接去天堂。
Who was Serach? Chapter 45 12 And Asher went forth and took Adon the daughter of Athel, the son of Hadad, the son of Ishmael, for a wife, and he brought her to the land of Canaan. 13 And Adon the wife of Asher died in those days, she had no offspring, And it was after the death of Adon that Asher went to the other side of the river and took for a wife Hadurah the daughter of Abimael, the son of Eber, the son of Shem. 14 And the young woman was of a comely appearance, and a woman of sense, and she had been the wife of Malchiel, the son of Elam, the son of Shem. 15 And Hadurah bare a daughter unto Malchiel, and he called her name Serach, and Malchiel died after this, and Hadurah went and remained in her father's house. 16 And after the death of the wife of Asher he went and took Hadurah for a wife, and brought her to the land of Canaan, and Serach her daughter he also brought with them, and she was 3 years old, and the damsel was brought up in Jacob's house. 17 And the damsel was of a comely appearance, and she went in the sanctified ways of the children of Jacob, she lacked nothing, and the Lord gave her wisdom and understanding. So Serach was not born of Jacob's flesh, but the daughter of Asher's second wife Hadurah's previous marriage, a descendant of Shem. So how did God arrange Serach according to Jacob's blessing? We have explained it in detail in the new idiom story of Serach past Nien. We will briefly outline it here. 1. The Hebrew word for Serach is Serach. Sarah's original name Sarai is Sarai. God changed her name to Sarah, and gave Hay, representing the womb to Sarai, and eventually she became pregnant, gave birth to a smile. Sarah is only one letter apart from Serach. Serach is a chet, with full legs, and Sarah is a Hay, with a broken leg. So this Serach refers to the S of the house of Adam, who are finally perfect. 2. If Jesus is the standard of all things, and Jacob is the one who will use the standard to send himself into heaven, including Israel and Adam's family, then Ruth and Serach are the two models God prepared for Adam's family, two witnesses. 3. Itself refers to the shadow, the side, when God took out Adam's side bone Selah and made Eve, and finally Psalm 150 verse 5, the loud cymbal Slatzel, praise the Lord, the new idiom story, 13, great sound of the cymbals showed these in detail. 4. Represents Lamed, to fight against Sadi, according to God's instructions, and in the end it will become perfect and complete, that is, the person with the crown shin, Resh. The pronunciation of these two words is very close, Serach, Zerah. Going a step further, Israel is Sar, the prince of God's El, and God's straight Yasher, meaning. So Serach was the final cell, and it was because of Israel's blessing that they finally entered the promised land as the sheaves of the house of Israel, and will be brought back to heaven. Rabbi of Israel interpreted Jacob's blessing as Serach was taken directly to heaven without experience of death.
以色列带着一切所有的，起身来到别是巴，就献祭给他父亲以撒的神。夜间，神在异象中对以色列说：“雅各，雅各。”他说：“我在这里。”神说：“我是神，就是你父亲的神。你下埃及去，不要害怕，因为我必使你在那里成为大族。我要和你同下埃及去，也必定带你上来。约瑟必给你送终。”原文是将手按在你的眼睛上。雅各就从别是巴起行。以色列的儿子们使他们的父亲雅各和他们的妻子、儿女都坐在法老为雅各送来的车上。他们又带着迦南的所得的牲畜、货财来到埃及。雅各和他的一切子孙都一同来了。雅各把他的儿子、孙子、女儿、孙女并他的子子孙孙一同带到埃及。来到埃及的以色列人名字记在下面。雅各和他的儿孙，雅各的长子是流便。流便的儿子是哈诺、法路、希斯伦、加米。西缅的儿子是耶姆利、雅敏、阿辖、雅金、所辖，还有迦南女子所生的扫罗。 利未的儿子是革顺、哥辖、米拉利。犹大的儿子是尔、俄南、示拉、法勒斯、谢拉，唯有儿与俄南死在迦南地。法勒斯的儿子是希斯伦、哈姆勒。以撒家的儿子是陀拉、普瓦、约伯、申伦。希布伦的儿子是希列、以伦、雅利。这是利亚在巴旦、亚兰给雅各所生的儿子，还有女儿底拿。儿孙共有33人。迦得的儿子是喜非云、哈基、舒尼、以斯本、以利、亚罗底、亚列利。亚舍的儿子是因拿、易施瓦、易施维、比利亚，还有他们的妹子希拉。比利亚的儿子是西别、马杰。这是拉班给他女儿利亚的婢女西帕从雅各所生的儿孙，共有16人。雅各之妻拉结的儿子是约瑟和便雅悯。约瑟在埃及地生了马拿西和以法莲，就是安城的祭司波提菲拉的女儿亚希娜给约瑟生的。便雅悯的儿子是比拉、比杰、亚什别、基拉、乃曼、以西、罗什、母平、户平、亚勒。这是拉结给雅各所生的儿孙，共有14人。但的儿子是户申。拿弗他利的儿子是雅薛、孤尼、耶瑟、是冷。这是拉班给他女儿拉结的婢女毗拉从雅各所生的儿孙，共有7人。那与雅各同到埃及的，除了他儿父之外，凡从他所生的，共有66人。还有约瑟在埃及所生的2个儿子。雅各家来到埃及的共有70人。创世纪46章1至27节和合本。
So Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. Then God spoke to Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. So he said, I am God, the God of your father. Do not fear to go down to Egypt, for I will make of you a great nation there. I will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also surely bring you up again, and Joseph will put his hand on your eyes. Then Jacob arose from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried their father Jacob, their little ones, and their wives, in the carts which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. So they took their livestock and their goods, which they had acquired in the land of Canaan, and went to Egypt, Jacob and all his descendants with him. His sons and his sons' sons, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his descendants he brought with him to Egypt. Now these were the names of the children of Israel, Jacob and his sons, who went to Egypt. Reuben was Jacob's firstborn. The sons of Reuben were Hanok, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. The sons of Simeon were Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. The sons of Levi were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of Judah were Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah, but and Onan died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamel. The sons of Issachar were Tola, Puvah, Job, and Shimron. The sons of Zebulun were Sered, Elon, and Yaliel. These were the sons of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob in Padan Aram, with his daughter Dinah. All the persons, his sons and his daughters, were 33. The sons of Gad were Ziphion, Haggi, Shuni, Esban, Eri, Arodi, and Areli. The sons of Asher were Jimnah, Ishwa, Ishui, Beriah, and Sarah, their sister. And the sons of Beriah were Heber and Malchiel. These were the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bore to Jacob, 16 persons. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, were Joseph and Benjamin. And to Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar a priest of On, bore to him. The sons of Benjamin were Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ahi, Rosh, Muppim, Huppim, and Ard. These were the sons of Rachel, who were born to Jacob, 14 persons in all. The son of Dan was Hushim. The sons of Naphtali were Jahzeel, Guni, Jezer, and Shillem. These were the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban gave to Rachel his daughter, and she bore these to Jacob, 7 persons in all. All the persons who went with Jacob to Egypt, who came from his body, besides Jacob's sons' wives, were 66 persons in all. And the sons of Joseph who were born to him in Egypt were 2 persons. All the persons of the house of Jacob who went to Egypt were 70. Genesis 46 verses 1 to 27 NKJV. The next part will say, Jacob complained that the years were shortened, and blessed Joseph with deep mysteries. During the last few years, Jacob had been worshipping at his bedside. What a tough life he had. The 16th part of Jacob's story is also the day when Jacob's hardships ended and sweet part had come. The mystery of Jacob's blessing of the 2 sons of Joseph can only be revealed by Enoch today. Thank you for listening to the Enoch Talk Show. See you next time.